This is Judge Joe Brown, and you're watching We All Be News TV, the
News Free Dixie.
News Free Dixie for the 21st century.
Judge, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Excellent. We all be is honored to have once again the one and only, the truly honorable Judge Joe Brown with the word of today. Like every day, a man who is very profound and make it plain, as usual. In the words of the great Malcolm X, he makes it plain. How you doing tonight, Judge?
All right, young man, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, we've been talking some good stuff, man. You got a lot to say, especially like what's going on right now in the world of entertainment as well as in the real world of politics and all this stuff. But it's like it's very overwhelming. But where would you like to start tonight?
Okay, let's start with something that's local to Memphis, Shelby County.
Okay.
There is a gentleman that for years has been telling the truth about the realities of this place politically. His name is Dale Gill, but the powers that be don't like him because he just keeps focusing on the raw truth and the right and the wrong of things, and they don't like that because there are too many corners cut. And he sent a submission to the county commission suggesting that they release the information first thing in 2018 relative to the taxpayers' money that has been paid out to settle the hashtag #MeToo issues in Shelby County. In other words, how many elected officials have managed to cause the taxpayers to pay out money? How many times have there been these problems in these agencies we have, like the clerk's offices, the DA's office, juvenile court, their clerk's office, and some of the county agencies? How many times have the taxpayers had to pay for settlements or non-disclosable out-of-court resolutions to matters? How many times have there have been occasions when EEOC has found cause? And I think that's going to ruffle a few feathers. I really do, which leads us, of course, to this whole hashtag #MeToo thing that's been going on recently. My reaction to that is it's awful to exploit a woman if you are a man. But we have another problem that's going on that's more serious. It's the erosion of respect for some of the principles in our Bill of Rights, one of which is innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And right now, because the press is trying to be politically correct and a lot of the people that are pushing the issues are indigenous to the press itself, we are trying people in the media, and accusations are leading to people being fired even if they deny things, or leading to calls for resignation, and people are resigning. I think that is a bad policy, and it sets something of an institutional precedent that is not good. We have people like that sleaze Nancy Grace, who goes around as a lawyer, a former prosecutor, and starts harping about the Fifth Amendment needs to be abolished because the people have a right to know, to satisfy their inquiring minds, that's more important than some defendant's right to remain silent. So that's getting on very dangerous ground, and that troubles me. There was a thing that hit Twitter, and there was a big to-do about that. It was a woman who was a contributor to Teen Vogue, and she was tweeting for several days about it's okay to destroy an innocent man in his career with false accusations if it helps out the feminist cause. You see, and that's nothing but salacious garbage, and that's a scumbag who would advocate that kind of thing. But you see, that person is still writing for impressionable teen girls. You've got a movement afoot that goes along with this that's spreading back east, where they want to create a new category of rape called rape by seduction, in addition to forcible rape. In other words, if the woman is caused to be impassioned and eroticized, and because she is, let's say, getting turned on and she decides to have sex, that should be called rape by seduction. I want it so when the woman is totally calm and everything, the guy's supposed to ask and get permission to engage in foreplay and get her worked up, and then before they actually have sex, he's supposed to formally inquire, is it all right to have sex? And they say that if the person is not to be prosecuted, he must ask the woman pointedly during the sex act if it's okay to continue, and then if it's okay to finish. And then for universities and colleges, they want to implement policy where if the girl has second thoughts or doubts or remorse for having doing it, the boy can be expelled so the girl doesn't have to go through the pain of seeing him for the next 2, 3, or 4 years that she's attending that college. They want magazines, books, all media to be labeled, warning, this may cause eroticism or arousal in young females. That's getting a little bit crazy because that gets too far away from Boys and Girls 101 / the human animal. Now, one star got in some big trouble because he said there's a scale. There's forcible rape, and that should not be tolerated. Things like that need to be prosecuted. Somebody should go to the jail or penitentiary, and there are things that just amount to extreme flirtation, and those should be treated accordingly. There should be a sliding scale in there depending upon the severity of the offense. He drew a whole lot of negative flack where women were commenting that it's all the same and it all should be treated alike. Well, that kind of goes along with this new development with the young people who are in college and in their early 20s and some in their 30s who feel that anything that makes another person feel uncomfortable should be forbidden. In other words, if more people don't like this speaker or what he may say, that speaker should not be permitted to speak to a student gathering at that university because somebody may be offended. It's part of what you see in the media where somebody says something that may be quite true, but it offends somebody else. Well, then 3 days later, he's issuing profuse apologies, even though what he or she may have said is quite valid.
Let me ask you this about the Tavis Smiley situation, where PBS did that independent investigation, and they claimed that he had unprofessional, having sexual relationship with subordinates, and he lost all his sponsors and underwriters to his show.
General rule, I would tell people: don't dip your wick in the company ink. Bad move. you'll have to work with them, and they might get peeved if you get an affair with somebody else, and then they're going to come back at you. That's a dumb move.
What about the fantasy? Like, what Barack Obama, Michelle Obama was his boss at one point when they started dating.
Ain't that something? There you go.
So why is that the exception? Was they mad at Tavis for not marrying the girl?
But you see, here's the other thing. Have you ever heard of a guy complaining about a woman made me have sex with her?
One time DMX, but he's the exception, I guess.
Well, yeah, look at him.
He said he was raped while he was sleeping or something like that. Like,
well, was he complaining about it?
I mean, something else said okay. His little head said okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, the bottom line is if somebody talking about they made me have sex, I say, oh man, come on, you need to check your masculinity.
As much as supposed to play about like erectile dysfunction, you think,
I mean, other thing too.
Yeah.
I've heard people, these gays just on side say you didn't bust somebody in his mouth.
Mm.
Sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do. He just needs the wisdom to know when he's got to do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.